Hello guys, I'm back from another video and today we're talking about what if Deku was reincarnated into Genshin Impact. So, in the last video we talked about how after, after that, weird ass day where he had to go to a funeral so he can, at least attend it so he can see a few people, mostly because, the guy there's basically, a big fan of his, and also his grandson is also, a big fan of his. But after that, little event, Izuku would finally wake up as he would see a few of his girls basically, cling on to him. After getting out of their grasp, Izuku would start leaving to do his usual schedule, or at least used to be usual schedule. As Izuku was basically just like jogging around around Leeway, and also seeing a few new faces, like for example a blue-haired boy fighting against white-haired boy, and let's just say they're not really happy with each other. But after a while, basically, jogging, he would arrive at a low hill with a tree. After sitting down and basically, resting and also thinking about how his, past life was, pretty ironic. I mean, he became a hero, but, before that, he became a villain in his past life. But either way, he would basically start, getting ready to leave, but before he can leave, he was captured by a few, Fatui agents, saying that they're planning to basically brainwash him into becoming a Fatui Harbinger, and apparently, some of the girls there, mostly, the assistant mages and the mermaiden, which, oh boy, they're pretty much planning on what to do to him. And let's just say, those plans are pretty much, oh boy. And let's just say one of them considered her, aka, the Mirror Maiden as a Shotokan. I mean, she's not, he's not technically wrong, but still. So, after that little, interaction, Izuku would be captured, as while he was being captured, Zhongli was basically watching all of this. As Zhongli would basically bring in Xiao, sorry about that, ignore that other folder, it's mostly school stuff, and, next week is also my exams, like, god fucking damn it, why can't it be next time? Either way, as Izuku, was being captured, Zhongli was basically watching all of this, and would, call in Zhao to basically take care of it. As in, basically defeating them and recapturing Izuku. After doing that and defeating all of them with his powers, Izuku would be taking out of his strings, as Izuku was basically free. After saying goodbye to Zhao and thanking him for basically saving him, he would arrive back home and would realize that it's about, 12 o'clock, or, in the, in afternoon. As after, talking to his, girlfriends about, not really what happened, but either way, and also seeing, a pretty much worried, Shangling, he would ask her what happened, and apparently she's planning to make a little birthday party for her best friend. Not like a best friend, but more like a friend. Apparently her name was Yan Fei. And apparently she's a bit overworked, so she decided to make a little party for her so she can relax. So, after being told of this, Izuku also told her why is she a little bit worried. As she would say this, well, apparently, there's, no workers, or at least anybody to help her out at all. So, as Izuku was told of this, Izuku would decide to help her. After helping her with the preparations and also bringing in some, invitations, which, by the way, thanks to the help of Lamine and her skills, she would basically bring in several, people to basically join into the party, including, one of, not Zhongling's, I meant Hu Tao's workers, aka Zhongli, which he's pretty excited about, mostly because, after hearing that there's osmanthus wine was there, well, he was pretty much happy to know that he's definitely gonna have a drink there. And after, the party was all set, the woman of the hour, aka, Yan Fei, would be there. And after, seeing the surprise, she was pretty happy and would start the party. As everybody was partying, apparently, Paimon accidentally got into the osmanthus wine and became drunk. Oh boy. So, After the whole party, all of them would basically, prepare everything and would basically go to sleep. And as for drunk Paimon, she was basically chained to the bed to try and not, disturb anybody. So, yeah. So, that is basically what happened last episode. And so, you know, let's just say I'm a bit, tired. Mostly because I'm, preparing for, exams soon. And I'm pretty much worried about it. But either way, let's talk about what happens next. So, as Izuku was waking up, he would see, a few of his girls basically also waking up as well at the same time as him. As, Lumine would say this. Morning, Izuku. As Izuku would say this. Oh, morning, Lumine. Shangling? Shangling would say this. Morning, Izuku. As Izuku would say this. Well, it's, tomorrow we're going to be planning to, leave to, to Inazuma, so, maybe tell your customers that, you're planning to go with us, okay? She would say this. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that. As a few of his other girls, aka Amber, and also, Noelle would, wake up, as they would say this. So, tomorrow we're finally leaving to go to Inazuma, right? As Izuku would say this. Yeah, so better prepare. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Noelle. As she would say this. Yeah, I can't wait. It's been a long time since I actually went there. Maybe I should plan on maybe getting some dango. I absolutely love this stuff. But I even heard that, the ruler of Inazuma, what's his name exactly, she would say, as Izuku would say this. Oh, you mean Raiden Shogun? As she would say this. Hey, how do you know her? As Izuku would say this. Well, I sort of became wanted. And as in, the criminal way. As she would say this. Oh, I see. I didn't really know that. As Izuku would say this. Really? Huh. Anyway, we're gonna be planning to go there soon. So, be prepared. As she would say this. Yeah, got it. So, after being told of this, they would start preparing for, Inazuma. So, as while Izuku is basically preparing all of his stuff, Izuku is basically just like, grabbing all of his clothes and some of the souvenirs that he gotten from, from Leeway. As for Hu Tao was already told of this thanks to the help of, Lumine. As after Lumine told her about this, she would start preparing after that. So, while, Izuku's packing all of his things for tomorrow, Izuku would see and would look over to see, Hu Tao, which he arrived at, at Shanling's home pretty late, in fact. As she would say this. Alright, I'm here. As Izuku would say this. Hu Tao, so are you prepared? As she would say this. Yep, and I already told my, customers that, that I'm going to be leaving soon. And I already told, one of my, one of my uncles to basically take care of the, wait for a second. I already told my uncle to basically take care of the, at the funeral parlor. As Izuku could say this. I see. So, anything else? Said, Izuku to Noelle, as Noelle would say this. Oh, I got everything already. And trust me, I already double-checked it. As Izuku would say this. Good. And, wait, where's Paimon? As all of them would just, would be out, like, instantly wide-eyed, as one of them would say this. Wait, where's Paimon? Said, Amber, as Lumine would say this. I thought you were watching her. As they would start to hear the sound of Paimon crying and seeing that she's basically running away from a few hillachurls, and in her hands were a few, a few pieces of meat. And not only that, some fruit and other types of, food items. As Izuku would basically, would just basically, slap his face as he would say this. Paimon, he would basically say as he would run over there and would try to, save her. Nearby, the other girls are just like saying to themselves, is she that invested with food or something like that? All of them would agree in their minds. As after the whole, Izuku saving her thing, Izuku would basically save her, as Izuku would basically, give some of the food back to the Hochos, and as for Paimon was severely punished for that by, not sleeping with them. As in a not, sexual way, by the way. As she's basically, sleeping in the couch, where she's currently just like crying, saying, "Come on, I was just hungry," she would say. After that, all of them would basically fall asleep. So, as all of them would wake up, everybody would start preparing to go to the Leeway Harbor. As while they're basically going there, they would see a few, people that basically woken up in the butt crack at dawn. If you get that reference, then, uh, God, I absolutely love the guy, but I'm really, disappointed that he, stopped doing some, fake content anymore. And if you don't know who he is, I think his name is like, Joe Star something. I can't remember his actual name or his YouTube channel's name, but I absolutely love the guy. All of his content is absolutely funny, especially with the fake content. Like, god damn it, it's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, continuing on, as they basically open the door of, Xiangling's house, and they would basically lock it, saying goodbye to everybody. As some of the people there would basically just look over and would see all of them basically packing over their bags as they're basically, saying goodbye to them. Some of them even crying, and some females, mostly, about Izuku's age, are currently crying, saying, "No, don't leave." So, after a while of that, they would arrive at the, harbor as they would start, sitting down on a few crates. As their ride would basically, arrive there. After, seeing the ride, it was Beto's ship. As Beto would say this. "So, you guys ready?" As all of them would say yes. And so they would start bringing their bags as some of the crew would also help them out. As Izuku would look over and would see, a pretty, relaxed, Kazuha. Basically using, one of the leaves as like a, flute-like instrument. Instrument. As while he was doing that, Izuku would say this. "Well, this is certainly quite an interesting, turn of events," said Izuku, as Hutawa would say this. "Yeah, it's my first time actually going to Leeway, so," as Xiangling would say this. "Yeah, I really want to go there for a long time now, but ever since I created my restaurant, well, I couldn't go there. And I can't wait to finally go there so I can try out all of the food there. And maybe even, experiment with some new food ideas." As Izuku would say this. "Yeah, pretty excited for that too." After saying that, they would start setting off, as Beto would basically tell all of her crew to basically lower the anchor. I meant, not lower, I meant, yo, how do I say this? What is the opposite of lowering the anchor? Would basically, tell them to hoist the anchor. After telling them that, they would start leaving to go to Leeway. Not Leeway, I meant, to Inazuma, god fucking damn it. So, after, that, they would start setting sail towards Inazuma. As all of the people there would basically say goodbye to them, including Yanfei and, you know, you know, Zhongli. Zhongli is saying goodbye to her, saying goodbye to his boss for obvious reasons, and for Xiangling, and, not Xiangling, and, her friend, aka, Yan Fei, she would also say goodbye to them. And after that, they would rose into the, the sundawn, or, at the butt crack of dawn, and would start leaving to go to Inazuma. So, while they were basically in the ship, they would start sitting in, I guess you could say, the captain's quarters, basically. As they're basically just like waiting for, the time of them basically getting out of there. And would mostly just like play around, maybe even having some fun. While it was almost nighttime, they would basically, see a few of the, people basically, setting up some tables. After seeing all the, seeing the table basically set, Xiangling would basically start making dinner. Thanks to the help of some of the, pirate members. Not really pirate members, but, Beto claims to be a pirate, but in my opinion, she's more like a, not really a pirate, but more of a, um, a seaman, not seaman as in no, as in seaman, as in you know, or I guess you'd say a sea woman in this case, but still. So, if you don't know, or at least some of you might have known, well, in the Philippines, seamen or seaman or whatever you want to call them, or or the navy is pretty much prominent in our in our culture, mostly because we're actually pretty good at that, and not only that, because we're basically a bunch of islands. Yeah, let's just say that's a pretty prominent job. Even my uncle is basically a seaman himself. And not only that, my high school that I'm currently attending right now also have a seaman program. Not in that way. I swear to God, if you put this out of context, either way, yeah, it's pretty much pretty prominent. So just I still think that Beto is sort of a pirate, but still it's more resembling of a seaman. Not seaman. I meant seaman. I swear to God, if you dare to put this out of context. Anyway, so as while they're basically cooking, Izuku would just be on the large table and would basically just look around at all of his girls, basically just cling on to him. As Beto would say this. Well, you certainly have a harem, said Beto, as Izuku would say this. Whatever. Says the girl who's bringing Dingwong. She would basically hear that as she would say this. How did you know? As Izuku would say this. Rumors, as she would say this. I see. Uh, as all of the girls would just look at her as one of them would say this. Wait, you're a lesbian? As she would say this. Yeah, and as she would start pointing at Kazuha, as Kazuha would just look it up at her. I meant look up at her, as she would say this. Well, he's also technically my adopted son, and Ningguang is also her, also his, adopted mother, so it makes sense. As Izuku would say this. Huh, didn't know that. As Izuku would just look towards him as he would say this. It doesn't really matter. After saying that, Izuku would say this. Huh, well, that's pretty interesting to say the least. After saying that, Izuku would look over and would see some of these girls, planning, to basically feed him some food. Literally just spoon food him. Like basically like that typical anime trope. As the food would be set and it's mostly seafood, as everybody would start eating. While everybody was eating, Izuku's being spoon fed by, all of the girls. Like for example, Lumine, Hu Tao, Noel, Amber, things of that sort. Yeah, let's just say Izuku's basically, you know, basically being like a baby at this point. He's basically being treated like one. As, Beto is basically laughing inside, thinking, yeah, this boy is definitely gonna get his nuts crushed. I mean, his nuts, instantly crushed after, they become adults, maybe. While she was saying that, a certain, Kazuha was a bit surprised seeing this, not knowing that he actually had a harem. And in fact, thought he actually had, just one relationship, specifically with just, Lamine. But after hearing that he actually has a lot of girls, basically, you know, on his side, well, he'd start thinking, well, I just hope he doesn't have, I just hope he survives after the little thing that is gonna happen when they become older. He would basically save his mind. As while this was happening, they would basically shortly finish their dinner. And so, as everybody's basically cleaning, the dishes, Izuku and all of his girls would basically sleep in the same bed and would fall to sleep. So, after a while, basically, traveling through the ocean, they would see the nearby island of Inazuma, aka their destination. As they're basically, going towards the port, they would suddenly be ambushed, as everybody would just hear the sounds of fighting. As Izuku would say this, what's going on? As one of them would say this, I don't know, but what the hell? Said, a pretty much angry Lumine, as she would open the door and would see a few, how do I say this? Yes. A few, Fatui agents basically boarding the ship and would start attacking everybody. As one of them would say this, take down that bitch over there. As all of them would basically, point, not really point, but more like, one of them is basically pointing at Beto. As one of them would say this, specifically assistant mage, specifically an Electra one, as she would say this, got it, as she would start shooting out blasts that resemble, bats. As while Izuku saw this, Izuku would summon in, the large Susanoo arm, specifically the, Pyro one, as it would swat away the large electric, bats. When they saw this, they would see an angry Izuku, as you would see this. So, you decide to ruin our sleep, eh? As all of the girls would start cracking their knuckles, as all of the girls would get ready their weapons, basically having the death glare on their face. Oh god, as all of the guys there would think, yep, we're about to die. As some of the girls would say, why do I think that's hot? Either way, we're gonna die. As when they saw the terrifying eyes of Izuku and the rest of the girls there, let's just say it was not really an actual battle, it's more like a massacre. Yeah, let's just say Noelle with her shield, well, she's not really getting damaged as she would start slamming them into the ocean thanks to the help of her, thanks to the help of her goddamn claymore. As for, Amber, she would start using Baron Bunny, which almost all of the girls thought would think, all of these season mages and some, mirror maidens thought it was cute, but then it explodes and everybody would start getting, falling into the ocean. As for the rest, Izuku would start raining hell upon them. Just imagine this. Just imagine this. He would start mixing both Geo and, and Pyro. And would basically create, what is that called? Yeah, I think it was called, planetary devastation. That's basically one of the, techniques that is made by, the Renegon. Yeah, that's basically what he created. But instead of a literal moon, instead it's a flaming meteor. So, when he did that, he would start, pulling everybody towards the flaming meteor. Mostly, the Fatui agents, as they would start getting crushed by rocks, but not too much to basically kill them, but just enough to basically become crippled. Oh boy! As after getting burned by these molten rocks, they would be thrown into the ocean and say goodbye to them because they probably drowned, actually killing them. When the, Fatui the Fatui basically saw this, they would start running away instantly, or in this case, swimming away. After that little fight, all of the members of, Beto's, pirate crew, including Beto herself, were pretty much impressing Izuku's, brand new attack. As Kazuha would say this, not bad. As Izuku would say this, well, let's just say if you're pretty tired and you're, pretty annoyed by the person who basically ruined your sleep, you can do horrible things to them. You can probably see why. As Izuku would start saying, and all of the Fatui basically, just all of the Fatui agents basically running away in fear, or in this case, swimming in fear. As Beta would say this, noted. And do not try to piss Izuku off, she would basically say after that little quote over there. Not really quote, but, that noted part. So, after that, they would start swimming, not really swim, but more like driving towards, Inazuma Island. After finally landing, a few, members would basically start going down towards, where, Inazuma is. As while they're basically getting down there, they would see, a pretty happy, what's her face? A pretty happy Klee, and if all of you are wondering, did you forget about Klee? No, I did not forget about Klee. I just thought she was not really necessary in one of the episodes. Or at least a few episodes. As Klee was pretty excited, finally going to Inazuma. As Izuku said this, Klee, you should probably behave yourself. As she would say this, but Klee wants to go now and do some fish blasting. As Izuku said this, no fish blasting today. For now, we're just going to be relaxing. Okay? She would say this. Fine, she would say with a little pout on her face, as Izuku could say this. Good. Now, as you would start walking towards, the, to the, where they're gonna be, entering Inazuma, as some of the people would recognize him. As you say, Izuku of the Thousand Elements, welcome back to Inazuma. As Izuku would say this. I told you, just call me Izuku. And these are just some, friends of mine, so you can allow them in. As, the people would agree and would basically let them in. As when they entered, Inazuma, this sound, not really sound, but more like, Raiden Shogun would sense her love basically nearby and would say, my Izuku senses are tingling, she would say in her mind, as she would start, looking towards where the direction of the, of where Izuku supposedly is, would basically activate her, her little thing there, as she would start flying away towards where Izuku is. As for, Kujisara would basically, be there basically training some of the recruits, as she would start feeling, Izuku's presence, as she would say, is that Izuku? As she would basically, start flying away, as some of her, recruits would say, where are you going, Master Kujisara? As she would not listen and would start flying away with the help of her wings, as one of them would say this. I don't know where she's going, but I'm guessing she has some sort of important meeting. Unbeknownst to them, but it's actually just, Kujisara being sort of a yandere, wanting to find her Izuku. Oh boy. So yeah, so, while that happened, a few, members of, wait for a second. A few members of, the Kamisato clan would overhear that Izuku of the Thousand Elements have arrived, as one person would say this. Izuku of the Thousand Elements has arrived, eh? Hey, sister, he would say, as this person would basically be seen. He seems to have white hair, not really white, but more like a light blue hair, and with blue eyes. He also seems to have a little beauty mark on his, chin, as he would say this. Isn't that right, my lovely little sister? As she would say this. Brother, yeah, I know that they're here, but I think it's better for them to basically relax for now. And it's better for you to basically rest as well. After all, you're pretty much busy with the, what is that called? Busy because, you're the head of the Kamisato clan. But still, you really need to still work and probably rest. As he would say this. Nonsense. I want to meet the man that actually beaten my sister. And even beaten, how do I say this? Yes. My lovely little sister Ayaka. As she would say this. I guess there's no way in stopping you. Hey, brother? As he would say this. Yes. Now, I can't wait to meet him. After all, he did defeat, Raiden Shogun. Now, you should probably be, doing your little training now. As she would say this. Oh yeah, bye, Ayato. As he would say this. Bye then. And so this Ayato person would start leaving, going towards the town where supposedly Izuku's going to. So yeah, so this is probably going to be the end of this episode. I'm going to be leaving it off in a cliffhanger. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.